I welcome you all to the second lecture on Information Security Fundamentals. In today's lecture, we shall discuss, in fact, broadly discuss about the basic principles of information security, namely confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which in short is also known as the CIA triad. So let's get started. So just in the previous lecture, we have discussed the need for information security, and we have also gone through the definition of information security. Here, we will try to classify the principles related to security. So this will help us understand the attacks better and also help us in thinking and about the possible solutions to tackle them. So I shall take an example to understand these concepts. So let us assume that a person A wants to send a check worth $100 to another person B. Normally, what are the factors that A and B will think of in such a case? A will simply write the check for $100, put it inside an envelope and send it to B. Yes? Then A will like to ensure that no one except B gets the envelope, and even if someone else gets it, she does not come to know about the details of the check. This is the principle of confidentiality. Secondly, A and B will further like to make sure that no one can tamper with the contents of the check, such as its amount, date, signature, name of the payee, etc. This is the principle of integrity. Also that due to some unintentional actions of another unauthorized user, say C, an authorized user like B may not be able to check the envelope or receive the envelope at all. So this is called availability. Okay. So now these are the three basic principles of security. So we shall, discuss all these security principles now one by one. So as given in the slide, all information security measures try to address at least one of the three goals: protect the confidentiality of data, preserve the integrity of data, promote the availability of data for authorized use. These goals form the confidentiality, integrity, availability triad, the basis of all security programs. Information security professionals who create policies and procedures must consider each goal when creating a plan to protect a computer system. So, and these set of policies and procedures are often referred to as governance models. So we shall now look into the three different models one by one. First is our confidentiality model. So here you see the principle of confidentiality actually specifies that only the sender and the intended recipient should be able to access the contents of a message. Confidentiality will get compromised if any unauthorized person is able to access a message. Example of compromising the confidentiality of a message is where user of a computer A, suppose, sends a message to user of computer B, okay, then another user C gets access to this message, which is not desired and therefore defeats the purpose of confidentiality. Example of this could be a confidential email message sent by A to B, which is accessed by C without the permission or knowledge of A and B. This type of attack is called interception. So basically, interception causes loss of message confidentiality. So therefore, confidentiality model can be thought of as a type of model that ensures sensitive information to be accessed only by an authorized person and kept away from those not authorized to possess them. It is implemented using security mechanisms such as usernames, passwords, access control lists, and encryption. It is also common for information to be categorized according to the extent of damage that could be done should it fall into unintended hands. Security measures can then be implemented accordingly. Next, we discuss the integrity models. So suppose, when the contents of a message are changed after the sender sends it, but before it reaches the intended recipient, we say that integrity of the message is lost. For example, suppose you write a check for $100 to pay for the goods bought from the US. However, when you see your next account statement, you are startled to see that the check resulted in a payment of, say, $1,000. So this is the case for loss of message integrity. Conceptually, say, suppose user C tampers with a message originally sent by user A, which is actually destined for user B. So user C somehow manages to access it, change its contents, and then send a changed message to user B. So user B has no way of knowing that the contents of the message were actually changed after user A had sent it. So user A also does not know about this message. This type of attack is called modification. So modification causes loss of message integrity. Therefore, integrity model, helps to keep data pure and trustworthy by protecting system data from intentional or accidental changes. Integrity models have three basic goals. First is it prevents unauthorized users from making modification to data or programs. Secondly, it prevents authorized users from making improper or unauthorized modifications. And thirdly, it maintains internal and external consistency of data and programs. An example of integrity checks is balancing a batch of transactions to make sure that all the information is present and accurately accounted for. Next, we shall discuss the availability model. So basically, the principle of availability states that resources, that is any information, should be available to authorized parties at all times. For example, due to the intentional actions of another unauthorized user C, an authorized user A may not be able to contact a server computer B. So this would defeat the principle of availability. Such an attack is called interruption. So interruption basically puts the availability of resources in danger. Therefore, we can assume the availability model to keep data and resources available for authorized use, especially during emergencies or disasters. Information security professionals usually address three common challenges to availability. The first being the denial of service, or the DOS, due to intentional attacks or because of undiscovered flaws in implementation. Secondly, loss of information system capabilities because of natural disaster or human actions. Lastly, equipment failures during normal use. So some activities that preserve confidentiality, integrity, and or availability are granting access only to authorized personnel, applying encryption to information that will be sent over the internet or stored on digital media. Periodically testing computer system security to uncover new vulnerabilities, building software defensively, and developing a disaster recovery plan to ensure that the business can continue to exist in the event of a disaster or loss of access by personnel. So here I come to the end of today's lecture. So this was all for today. Thanks for watching.